Hey guys, it's Kelsey and back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is the last layout using the Close to My Heart in Full Bloom workshop. So this is the second page from the third project. This is the one that has all the frames on it, so we'll see how many I get used up on this one, but this one ends up being a lot simpler. Again, though, they use two 4x4s and a 3x3, and I have two 4x6s. So again, I'm down a photo, but the two photos I am using are slightly larger. So I think it ends up working okay, but I do tweak this one quite a bit. I think out of, I don't know, maybe the last one I tweaked more than this. Actually, this is probably the page I tweaked the most this month out of their designs, but I'm adding both of these on the black cardstock again. I'm going ahead and getting my background black cardstock ready because I'm going to piece this stuff together. But I'm creating that same design. I did decide I wanted this page to kind of mirror the other page more than the way they had it. So instead of the blue being kind of down the middle of the page and the photos running more onto the ledger print, I decided to scooch the blue more to the left and have my photos more on the blue. It just made more sense to me design-wise with how I wanted this page to end up looking. So you'll kind of see how I figure that out. I start piecing this page together the way they did it, and that's when I was like, I know I'm gonna want this blue somewhere else. So it takes me a minute to figure that out. I need to get the background done. Again, I have that gray branding strip that I'm adding as an element. It's something that they didn't include at all on any of their pages, but I didn't want it left over at the end of the month, and I added it on the companion page already. So I want this second branding strip used up on this one. So you'll see that once I figure out how much of this background I want used. I'm going to trim this down a little bit so there's only like an inch of that ledger print on the left, and then I'm going to have this wide piece of blue, and then I'll have the rest of the ledger on the right side of the page. But this allows me to gut and save a lot of that last ledger paper, which helps me in the end when I want to get some extra layouts done this month. I'm really surprised that without the extra paper, I was still able to create 2 extra layouts at the end of all of this. So that's really nice to know that you have some extra bits to work with. Especially because this needed to be basically a 3-page layout for Thanksgiving, and I had enough with this product to create my third layout that coordinated pretty well. But now that I have my background down, you can see where I kind of want my photos to lay more to the left than they did, so it's more on the blue. I'm still going to have this journaling spot to the right here, like the same way they did, so I'm going to go ahead and layer up those bits, and then I have all the rest of my frames and die cuts that they used, and the ones left over from the last page that I ended up not pulling in. So now I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. They didn't have this journaling piece put together, so you had to put it together yourself, and I was like, there is too much of this really pretty blue script covered, so I'm going to gut the middle of this journaling piece since the other journaling piece is going to cover that, and that ends up coming in handy because I end up wanting to create a tag at the top of this page to kind of balance this journaling spot, and end up using that piece I just got to create that tag, so that was really helpful. But I'm going to go ahead and layer this up and get that where it's supposed to be. There is a tag that is also supposed to be layered up behind there. So I'm going to start kind of layering the way they did. And then as I go, if there's anything I want to change, then I can. But to me, this was the last page of their workbook. So everything that they have left on the sticker sheet is free game for me. But I also don't feel compelled to use everything, knowing that I am trying to get some extra pages after this. So you can kind of see where I've laid everything else out. And now I'm going to start kind of compiling my clusters. There's a really pretty floral cluster down here by the journaling spot. So after I glue down my pictures, I'll kind of get that stuff going. But I love that there's so many, I mean, not so many, there's several tags though that are included in this collection, which I like because I've really been enjoying pulling in the black and white twine with this kit. I think it's just been looking really good. I love collections like this in general where it's just really like 1 or 2 actual colors and then lots of like black pops. So this whole collection is pretty much like that. It's like all blue and green and then you get just pops of black, and I just think it looks really pretty. So it's been fun. But now I'm compiling this little floral cluster, so I'm trying to stick everything together the same way they did. The yellow floral I'm going to pop up on some foam, so that has a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to get this whole little kind of corner done, and then I'll figure out where I want to go from there. But they have several frames kind of peeking out between all of these different photos, and I just tend to like my page designs more compact. So you'll kind of see I end up tweaking it quite a bit. And just being down that one extra photo already like changes the design a little bit. So I know I already have an extra frame that I don't really know what to do with. But I'm liking how this is looking. It's kind of going along with that L design that I like to do anyways. I already have this blue vertical piece of paper, and now it's branching out here to the right with this blue journaling piece. I did decide to move the tag to the right versus the left so it didn't get crowded against the photos, and I went ahead and added my black and white twine through that. But I like how this little corner is looking. Now I kind of need to figure out what else I want to do on this page. I'm going to go ahead and ink everything in that same green that I've been using all month, because I got stuck for a second and I was like, well, I know I'm going to do this anyways. Let me just stop and get this done. So I like how that turns out. I'm trying to remember what I did after this. I did a lot of layouts. The weekend I made all of these layouts, like I did so much. I was trying to remember what I did when. I'm like in the middle of doing 9 voiceovers in a row, so my brain is going a little bit. But I think, okay, we're back gluing things down now. So the Celebrate the Good teal sticker I think is a really good one to have up there. It helps balance the teal from the journaling spot. I definitely still want the butterfly over there by the frame, but since I moved the tag to the corner where the butterfly was, I put the butterfly up a little higher. They had this big yellow frame over here in that general vicinity, but I decided to tuck it in a little bit more and kind of connect this journaling cluster over to my photos and have the butterfly sitting on that. So I got to save a large bit of that yellow frame as well, but I decided to have my butterfly sitting on that too. That way it kind of is all connected. It's more compact than the way they did their design, but it's helping my eye flow around the page better for how I like to design my own pages. I know I'm getting all these black hearts on here, so I went ahead and added some glue, and now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this top cluster. I know I need a cluster up here, and I think as long as I can get this top portion of the page to balance the journaling spot with this floral, I think I'll be happy. So I'm going to go ahead and add one of the hearts and a couple of the heart stickers from the sticker sheet. But this is where I really decide, like, I need to balance the journaling spot a little better. And once I realized I had gutted that part of the journaling spot with that same exact pattern, that's when I decided to go ahead and trim it into a tag. And that kind of got me out of my jam. There is a camera sticker I definitely want on this page. And I'm thinking it'll go in that top cluster too. But I just have to figure out the basis of that cluster before I can really create it. And I haven't thought about trimming it into a tag just yet, so I'm just going and adding all the hearts while I'm doing that, because I know all the hearts are going to end up on the page regardless. This is where I'm like, okay, I'm stuck and I need to make a cluster. We're going to go ahead and add a doily. That'll help me get started. And then once I added the doily, I was like, oh, it'd look good with the tag. And then I was like, oh, I have this piece I saved that I can make into a tag. So it all kind of worked out after that, but this page definitely ends up looking different than the original. But I think same with the last page I did for this project. It's like, even though I changed it quite a bit, it still, I think, holds true to what they were going for. It gives you the same feel with the layered frames and everything. So I'm happy with it. I'm adding a black hole reinforcer onto this blue tag to give me that pop of black. Threading that again with black and white twine. And I really like that too, because then that twine is also balanced. It's in a couple spots. I thought about it being behind the doily, but I was like, I need more of it showing to really balance this big journaling spot. So I layered it in front. And then that's when I decided to add the camera. And then I noticed I still wanted a little bit more, and I was trying to see like how to balance this other cluster. And I was like, well, this other cluster has the floral cluster. So are there any other florals I could use? And there were a couple more florals on the sticker sheet. So I went ahead and created a mini floral cluster up here by the camera. That way I could kind of have that balanced too. So the smaller yellow flower I popped up on some foam for some dimension. And I think that's pretty much that cluster. That's pretty much it. And from here, I'm like, is there anything else I want to use? No. Okay, what else can I do? I wasn't sure, so I was like, I'll do the journaling first. I do kind of want to note, because this is Thanksgiving, and you can kind of see in the background of the living room are plastic sheets. So we were at my mom's house for Thanksgiving, and she's having parts of her house renovated. So we didn't even have the kitchen for Thanksgiving. So my journaling just kind of said Thanksgiving was different this year since Grandma and Grandpa's house was being renovated. We ate in the foyer and then hung out in the living room. But I wanted to make sure I noted that, because I didn't want us looking back on these photos years and years from now and being like, why is there plastic hanging behind them type of thing? So I kind of wanted to be like, this is Thanksgiving. This is where we are. This is why it looks like this. And then I kind of thought I was done, but then I looked back at the first page and I was like, oh yeah, I did some like mixed media in a couple areas, and that'll help fill this page out a little bit. So again, in just 3 different areas, I just did some messy mixed media with my Heidi Swap mint texture paste. And I think after that, I'm done. So I had a lot of fun again working with this workshop. This is the Close to My Heart workshop. I've been really bad about all these process videos mentioning that, but I am not a Close to My Heart consultant. But I did put the links I used in my description. I used Becky's links, who's my friend, who got me into working with Close to My Heart. So if you want to buy any, I do have the links down in my description in all of these videos if you're interested in any of this stuff. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. We still got another one to do with this kit with leftovers, but these are all of the workshop layouts. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.